All right, how's everyone doing? Thanks for checking out my show. I got Robert Benenati over here, and he wants to talk about cigars. He's actually sniffing one. As I sit across from him.
Well, I went downstairs today. I bought 3.
Yeah, his office, if you know anything about him, it's in Restaurant Row above Coronacigar, practically, literally above it. We can smell the cigars. So that's on Sand Lake Road in Orlando, and I don't know. We don't go there like we used to, but he wanted to kind of do a podcast here on cigars. Actually, we've lightened up a lot going out for cigars lately.
Because we have to work.
You guys do lately.
I have to work.
You've been working your asses off.
So I go home and I smoke, at home. I sit in the back.
You got a beautiful backyard.
Take my computer, finish working, and just, enjoy a cigar.
What I kind of want to get on or talk about on this podcast, if we're going to talk about cigars, is that I think there's a lot of bullshit behind it. And believe me, and I'm a cigar smoker, and of course I don't want to piss off every Cuban, Italian, Dominican.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, I sometimes wonder if it's more image driven than it is actually you getting something out of it. Now, of course, you like smoking. I'm not saying that part of it.
Well, what do you get out of drinking?
Well, I think a lot of people get buzzed off of drinking. A lot of people don't get buzzed off a cigar. Not saying you got to.
You can.
I'm just saying I think people, a lot of men especially, think they look cooler or look cool when smoking a cigar compared to doing other things. Like it's a confidence builder.
Well, it just depends if you know about cigars. Because then, yes, if you don't know much about it, you think you're looking cool smoking a cigar.
Yeah, and they're delicious.
When you start knowing about cigars, then you really enjoy the cigar and not doing it for image purposes.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a cigarette. Of course not. But let's face it, a lot of times people are smoking cigarettes because they think they look cool, which it's fine. I'm not saying this is bad. But it is kind of funny how a group of guys will sit around and the way they're acting with a cigar, I think, a lot of times, compared to, say, if they didn't have a cigar. Kind of like acting like a big shot.
I think it's cool, though. It is cool.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting to. But a lot of people pretend like they don't do it to be cool. They do it because it's delicious or because of, I don't know, the ambiance or whatever the hell. But tell them your quick trick on how, before we forget, to clean your cigar out. Like when it starts to, like halfway through a lot of times.
When you have to relight it?
Yeah, when you have to relight it, how you clean it.
Yeah, so I learned this off of YouTube, and I shared it because I think it was a true value content on that. So I had the same issue. Every time I had a cigar, it would go off, and to light it, I would just light it up, right? And then the taste was different.
Right.
And what I've learned is to scrape off, if it goes off, scrape off all the ashes, with a key or
a
matchstick, whatever, anything that you
toothpick.
Can anything, right? And maybe even the lighter itself, if you have a way to do it, right? But usually a key. Everyone has a key with them. Just scrape it all off, right? Take the cigar, blow out a little bit to get all those fumes out, and then light it up again.
It's
right?
awesome.
And then you would minimize. You don't know how much you would minimize that ashy taste.
Right.
And you get the flavors of the cigar again, and then try to keep it lit, right? Don't let it go out again. I mean, if you're having issues and it's going out, then you have other issues. It might be too humid or too moist or something.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Here's my part two to the bullshit thing. A lot of people pretending they know a lot more about cigars than they do. As far as the different types.
Yeah.
Right? Let's call that out, which is kind of hysterical a lot of times. Let's face it, it's kind of like wines. I think a lot of people, as you know, pretending they know a lot more about wines than they truly do.
Yeah, they tried 2 bottles of wine and now they think they know everything about wine. Listen, the best wine is the wine that's good for you. That's it.
Yeah, kind of.
If you like it, you like it.
Yeah, and a lot of guys, I think, though, I'll just say this: you kind of get addicted, or you love one type of cigar when, experiment with different cigars. But I think a lot of nerves get in play.
I try different cigars. Like right now, I have 3 different cigars, right? 3 different wrappers, and for me, I do flavor it. So I really take the time. A cigar, you can't rush through it.
No.
You know, I think you really need to take your time, and you have what they call thirds in the cigars. So the first third, the middle, and then the end.
Mm-hmm.
And all three thirds have different flavors.
Gotcha.
One could be mild, the other one could be a little harsher, the other one could be smooth, and so forth. They could have different flavors. So next time you light up a cigar, try to take your time and go through the thirds and try to see what flavors you get out of it.
My father had it was a dart and billiard cigarette in a cigar place, and then we had a bunch of humidors there, and we smoke a lot of different cigars. And I know there's different flavor cigars. Obviously, each one tastes different in their own right. But do you think sometimes it's a lot of cigars are kind of overpriced compared to others for actually what you get out of them?
Well, yeah, it's just like a watch, Rolex.
You
know,
think?
they did a great job at their advertising,
Marketing,
right?
Kinda?
So you're paying for, a watch that you could buy another watch for half the price or a third of the price, and it's going to do the same exact thing and have maybe the same mechanics, but it's not a Rolex.
Right, it's the name.
It's a name. So I think that the same thing happened with certain cigars, right?
Yeah.
Like the big ones used to be the Cuban cigars, and now you could get great cigars from Honduras, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, for sure.
So not necessarily they have to be Cuban any longer.
Did you ever get high on a Cuban cigar?
I have.
Yeah, I have too.
I have. Shortly, but I have. Depending on if, number one, if I ate, if I haven't had lunch or dinner or something, and I'm having one, if it's strong. Yeah, I have.
I have too.
Or I smoke too fast, which I try not to. I try to enjoy and take a puff every 30 seconds, usually every 45 seconds. That's where I try to be at.
I'll smoke 2 cigars sometimes. I'll go from none to 2. The other day or month, I went 3. I went bonkos.
I would do 2, maybe 3. Probably 2. 3 is a little too much.
Yeah.
I would do 2 if I had the time. And then if I'm having a great time at a different location, we're sitting down, having dinner, and then smoking cigars, and then, drinking,
Yeah.
To smooth the throat a little bit. But I would.
How's your health, you think? Because you've been consistently now smoking cigars, but you work out, you play racquetball very intensely for long periods of time.
Yeah, I'm doing
it's
good.
fine?
Yeah, I don't feel a shortness of breath or anything. And I'm not smoking, like, every day.
You're not inhaling either, right?
No, you don't. No.
Right, a lot of guys do.
It's more. I don't think so.
For that flavor? Old-timers?
No, and if you do, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had to do this on cigars. What else? Anything else? You got any other tricks on how you cut them? What do you go with the V, the clean?
The other one I learned was the lighting up a cigarette.
Cigar or cigar?
Sorry, cigar.
Sorry, yeah.
What am I talking about?
What do you? Yeah.
So,
torch.
Yeah, a torch, and how to what they call toast it.
Yeah.
So you just light it up and put the lighter away from the cigar.
Okay.
Don't burn it. Don't put it right up against it.
Right, and spin it?
I spin it
Okay.
to get the...
And it's not in your mouth at this point in time.
No, it's not.
Right.
I'm just holding it and just, toasting it,
Yeah.
let the heat do
kind
the work.
Kind of the ends, right? Like the outer skirt sides.
The outer. I start from the outer, and then
yeah.
I started working my way in to the center. I take a break, and then kind of what they call kiss the cigar. You just blow at it to light it up, at the end. And then keep going at it. And then when you see that when you're blowing at it and the whole foot of the cigar is nice and red, then, or close to, but it's evenly all around, that's the important part.
Okay.
Right? Then I put it to my mouth and then light it again and then take my first inhale.
Nice.
And light it.
And what kind of cut do you use?
I usually, probably 100% of the time, I do a straight cut.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It's a big hit.
It is.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to go out. And again, I take a puff every 45 seconds. So I'm not a fast smoker. I take my time.
Right. Remember the bullet? Remember the little hole? What
The little
was
hole.
that? I'd see. What's the most popular now? The V a little bit?
Yeah, I've been seeing the V a lot
Yeah,
more.
Me too.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think you should spend on honestly buying a cigar? The price?
I mean,
do you think?
you got cigars anywhere from $8 to 20, right? 22. You don't have to go that expensive. You could get a great cigars for $10, $12. You could get great cigars for $8.
Yeah, and you could get them online, even any
Yeah.
style. From what I heard,
Yeah.
from Cuba, from anywhere, you can get some unbelievable deals. I don't think a lot of people necessarily know that. They don't trust it either, so I can understand that. But
Well, if you know the brands, it's a brand. It's
Yeah.
just delivered. It's a warehouse, and they have it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'd say it's more or less putting your credit card or something like that.
And if
online.
you knew and you're trying to get into this, I would say start with like a mixed combo package.
Hmm.
And make your notes.
You're saying one that's already developed, say from Corona Cigar, they already have those made. But are you saying make your own, or?
Well, if you buy them like online, they have these mixed
okay.
packages, and keep the labels, and even make a note if you 1 to 10 if you liked it or it was whatever.
That's a good idea because you forget
You forget.
for sure.
Right? Now I have my go-tos that I know for sure what I'm smoking, but every once in a while I'll pick one up that I don't know or ever smoked and give it a try.
Yeah, it's good.
But I have to be conscious that, okay, I'm going to try this cigar. Never had it. Let me see what it really tastes like and take my time. And then I know for the future would I, smoke it again or not.
I used to get crazy and smoke those big El Capone cigars. Holy shit, the long, long smokes, which I liked, but they would just beat me up.
I don't like the long ones
Me
because they take forever. And I don't like the short ones. They call the dog walkers because they kind of just short.
Yeah, the shorties.
But what happens with the shorties is you go from, like I said, the thirds.
Yeah.
It kind of goes half and half. There's no thirds here, I think. It goes from being smooth to harsh,
Yes.
right?
Quickly.
So
That's kind of old school guys. Too.
Yeah.
Remember those guys?
Yeah.
The
little
shorty
ones
and
just
they're
go,
fucking
yeah.
hammering out. Oh my goodness! Growing up around cigars, my father hates cigars. It's very interesting. I used to be. I'd say the one thing I was addicted to, if anything, was cigars. When I was younger, for a while, making my first film, we were not only using the cigars. I think I've told you throughout filming. Then afterwards, my buddies, they're very wealthy. A lot of them, they have law firms and things in the Chicago area. And I was downtown all the time. So if they weren't hanging out on the movie thing with me, I'd go visit them. They had their own boxes, and then I'm smoking there too. And I think I told you before, on Taylor Street, which is like at our time, Little Italy, I had a bunch of guys come up, and they're like, Rich, I never see you without a cigar in your hand or in your mouth. I said, oh, goodness, I got a problem.
There's a lot of videos out there on YouTube. They look them up if you really want to get into it. It's a cool little thing to, if you have the time and you want to get into cigars, learn how to pick them, take care of them, humidor,
Yeah, maintaining them.
Yeah.
Maybe not overbuy.
You can, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
You could keep just replenishing your humidor. You could keep 5, 6 at a time. You could do 20 at a time, but keeping the right humidity, number one. Picking some, knowing how to light it, how to cut it, how to smoke it.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't like your cigar, don't let it beat you up. A lot of people, you'll go test a cigar, and after 5-10 minutes, it's not good.
And
dump it.
Yeah, if you
dump
if
it.
you don't like it, then that's the end of
Quit
that.
smoking something that you don't like. It's like a drink.
Give it some time because again, it changes. It could start harsh and then go smooth, and vice versa. And then learn the etiquettes of smoking. How to hold it. It's not a cigarette, so you don't bang it, on the edge of the ashtray to get the ashes. Some people let the ashes,
At the beginning, they love to go as far as they
can.
Yeah,
as far as they can let those ashes hang,
Yeah.
sometimes an inch or two before they really fall. So, yeah, don't bang your cigar against the ashtray. Just let it, you could lean it into the bottom of the ashtray and kind of press it and let it fall out and leave it like that and just keep smoking.
You're ready to go for a cigar right now.
Yeah, I think I am.
Oh, my goodness. Talked yourself right into it. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. We're talking about cigars for 15 minutes. We're supposed to keep these for 5 minutes. Shows where we're at. All right, you got any questions or comments, hit us up. I'm at richcilenza.com. All right, take care.